Namaste. In today's session, we're going to read further of the second chapter uh, of Jnaneshwari. But before proceeding with that, I just want to show you portrait of Sant Jnaneshwar, who had wrote this at the age of 16 years. This is the artist's uh, portrait of Jnaneshwar, and we'll proceed with that now. In this chapter, Sri Krishna is answering to the Arjun's question, why he has to kill the relatives on this battlefield. And Sri Krishna will explain him uh, why he has to kill his relatives. He's elaborating on the topic that death and birth are part of natural order. His relations are not going to be immortal if he doesn't kill them today on this battlefield. That's what he's explaining by giving several examples. Everybody who is born dies his natural death. And even though Arjun kills them, it's not he's the one who is killing them. It's God or natural order who is killing them. So let's hear what Jnaneshwar is telling them. That Sri Krishna started speaking with these words, apparently neutral and harsh, but very effective in content. Then he said to Arjun, this that you have started in the middle is some surprise. I am seeing it today. You call yourself intelligent, but you are not leaving your stupidity. I could teach you something, but then you are telling me long stories of morality. When a born blind becomes maniac, he starts running amok. He runs around aimless. Your wisdom is like that. You don't know yourself, but you are grieving for these Kauravas. This makes me much surprised again and again. So Arjun, tell me, do these three worlds owe their presence to you? It is said, creation of universe has no origin. Is that false? Here, in this world, they talk of someone most powerful. All creatures originate from him. Is that for nothing? Now, is it that you have started this birth and death? And that if you kill, then only these people will die? If you, due to this pride, under delusion, decide not to kill them, are they going to be immortal? If you are getting this delusion in mind, that you are the only killer and all others are to be killed, then understand that this all has been happening by itself, naturally, from time with no beginning. Then, why are you grieving? Tell me. You don't understand this due to stupidity. You are thinking what you should not. And tell me about morality. See, those with stable mind, they don't grieve because they know both birth and death is a delusion. Arjun, I tell you, listen. See, here, you and all those kings, whether we will stay like this, as we are now forever, or will certainly get destroyed. When this delusion disappears, then we know both of these are not true. We experience this birth and death due to delusion, what is called or referred as Maya. Otherwise, in reality, what this thing is indestructible. Like when wind moves water and that produces waves. Here, can we say who is born and where? Then further, same movement of wind stops and surface of water becomes still. Now think what has happened. Listen, body is only one, but has different stages according to age. This is the direct evidence. See, here first you see childhood, that is lost in youth. But as each stage is lost, body is not destroyed. It is same about excitation or existence or spirit. See, it goes on changing bodies. They come and go. One who knows this is beyond sorrow of delusion. Here, for not understanding influence of senses is the reason. This influence overtakes mind. This causes delusion. Sense organs enjoy different things. That creates pleasure and sorrow. These affect mind due to association. The subjects of enjoyment lack loyalty. They vary. Then sometimes grief and sometimes happiness is perceived. See extent of these words, praise and slander. These produce love and hate on hearing by ears in the mind. Soft and hard. These are two properties of touch, which is the cause for happiness and unhappiness through contact with skin. Beautiful and ugly. See, this is the nature of form, which creates pleasure or sorrow through eyes. Fragrance and stench. This is the difference in smell, which gives delight and disgust through nose. Likewise, juices of two kinds, sweet and bitter, create like and dislike. So is this company leading to downfall. See, when overtaken by senses, he experiences heat and cold. Then he gets caught between pleasure and grief. There is nothing interesting beyond sensual pleasures. See, this is the nature of these senses. And how are these pleasures? Like water from mirage, or elephant seen in a dream. Hey, archer, see, these affections are temporary. So don't go after them, abandon them. To whom these affections don't disturb, he doesn't get happy or sad, and has no residence in embryo, meaning he is free from cycle of birth and death. Whoever controls his senses, makes them naked, understand, Partha, he is totally liberated. Arjun, now listen, I shall tell you something more. Nature of the matter, which is understood only by reasoning. Behind these problems of body, underlying is the latent excitation everywhere. Saints and philosophers accept this. Like meat remains in water, thoroughly mixed with it, but swan selectively separates it. Or experts with help of fire burn impure metal and separate pure gold apart from impurity. Or you churn curd by a churner with trained expertise and get butter in the end like that. Or when you air a mixture of grain and husk, grain stays behind and we understand whatever blown away is husk. In the same way, which proves false on reasoning, this business of life is easily abandoned by knower or thinker. Then only that thing remains behind for them which is referred as eternal matter. Those who have recognized difference between the two, business of life and exciting matter, they don't believe in unstable body problems. See, thinking about essential and non-essential. Between the two, understand, non-essential is a delusion and essential is naturally everlasting. This form of three worlds, whose extension it is, he doesn't have any characters like name, color or shape. He is everlasting and everywhere, beyond birth and death. Even if you try to kill, he will never be killed. All these bodies of each and everyone are by nature destructible. So, hey, son of Pandu, you ought to fight. You are proud of your body, strength of your body, and seeing your body are saying they will be killed only if I kill them. Still, hey Arjun, you are not understand main principle. You are not understanding main principle. If you really think of it, you are not the killer, and they are not to be killed. What you say in a dream, see in a dream, is true till dream exists. When you wake up and see, then there is nothing. Like that is this delusion. You are in confusion in vain, like when a shadow is hit with a weapon that doesn't injure the man, or when you empty a jar full of water, the reflection of sun in the water vanishes, but With this, sun doesn't get lost, or in the pot full of water, say a sky descends in the form of pot, that is, reflection of sky takes the form of surface of water inside. When the pot is broken, sky stays as it is. Reflection in the pot is only lost. In the same way, when body is destroyed, the original essence, spirit inside, is not destroyed. So don't accuse of this delusion of killing them. Like we discard old dress, then wear new one. Like that, spirit accept the change of body. This spirit, commonly referred as Atma, is without origin and is everlasting, without any label and is very pure. So, it is not subject to destruction by weapons. This is not drowned by waters of great floods. It is not possible to burn it by fire. Wind's influence of great suction doesn't work here. Arjun, he is continuous, stable, everlasting, complete, and exists always everywhere. He is not visible to vision of reasoning. Meditation is eager to meet him. He is never available to mind. He can't be reached by penance. Arjun, this base man has no bounds. He is without three gunas, sattva, raja and tama, beyond form, without origin, and is unaffected by passions. He is all inclusive. Arjun, understand, he is like this everywhere. See this, see this vision now, your grief should disappear. Or even without understanding like this, if you consider him destructible, still Arjuna, you should not grieve, because like water in Ganges flows non-stop. This order of creation, being and destruction is going on without disruption forever. The production of water doesn't stop at the origin. It is being poured in ocean non-stop. In between you see it is constantly flowing. Just like these three, creation, being, destruction, are always together. Never can anyone stop this. That is why it's like this. Here, you don't have to grieve for. This is the nature of the state from beginning. Or Arjun, then seeing all these people are subject to birth and destruction. Even if you don't understand this, still there is no reason for you to grieve. See, this birth and death are unavoidable. I think we'll take a break now. Thank you very much for coming to this website and listening to this. In the next session or next episode, we'll probably consider another part of the chapter 2, or we'll start with chapter 3. Thank you very much. See you again at the next episode.